There is movement today from the Florida judge who approved the FBI search warrant for Mar-a-Lago. Judge Bruce Reinhart has ordered more of the justification used to search Donald Trump's private club and residence be made public. Joining me now is NBC News investigative correspondent Tom Winter. So, Tom, this affidavit was the subject of a lot of debate and conversation leading up to what we saw with the indictment. What could we learn from the affidavit that we have not yet learned from the indictment?
Right, Katie. Well, we had a lot of pages that looked like this. That's what we were able to receive last August as media organizations, including this one, fought to get access to this affidavit, which is essentially the FBI's homework on why they say they should be able to enter somebody's residence and conduct one of these search warrants and to be able to seize whatever items of evidence that they're looking for. You know, back then, about 65% of the paragraphs in that affidavit were redacted in full or in part. So it's a significant amount of that document. This should we have gotten unredacted pieces of this 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, I think it would have been more consequential. But now that the former president has been charged, he's been indicted in this case, presumably a lot of the things that have been blacked out previously are either in this indictment or are still going to remain redacted because, as we know, this is an ongoing investigation. So that component of it, surely we won't be able to see.
So much of this investigation is classified, and that's certainly something that Jack Smith's team is going to have to deal with when they present it to a jury, this case to a jury, and present the evidence to a jury. Are we going to get any hints about what more could be in this trial in terms of evidence? We got some hints, obviously, from the indictment about what sort of documents there were, nuclear documents, et cetera. Anything in this document that we could use to help us paint a more clear picture? So
my sense of it is that the indictment, they were able to go back to the agencies that generated those top secret documents to say, what is the farthest that we can go in a public-facing indictment to share with people what we have without going too far to kind of tip our hand to the secret items that are inside of it. Surely this, or what it will be unredacted, does not contain that level of detail. I think the types of things you could see, additional types of color, nuance, and context around the lead up to this search warrant, which was surely unprecedented. What was the FBI thinking? What were they going through at that time? What were people potentially telling them? Some additional detail and nuance could be included in this, but Katie, we really don't know at this stage.
And while I have you, just in general, is Jack Smith done with indictments in terms of the classified documents, or could we be seeing more potential wrongdoing, more people be caught in this investigation, more indictments to come?
Well, as I always say, and this is just general for any case, up until the moment trial hits, there could certainly be additional indictments that could come along. There could be superseding indictments that come along. You don't know what people will do in the period between indictment and trial. You don't know what type of activity is going on with respect to the grand jury. Are they still listening to evidence? Are they still listening to testimony? What could Walt Nauta do? Who are some of the additional players that are referenced in that indictment, including a Trump family member? So I don't think we rule anything out, but there's no indication that, for instance, this afternoon we're going to get hit with a whole slew of indictments. No indication of that at this moment. Nothing imminent, as we heard leading up to the indictment of the former president. But, you know, we continue to make our calls and check our documents. Katie.
Tom Winter, welcome back from paternity leave. Appreciate you coming on with us.